been a year since my last home gym tour, and since then my 3 gyms have changed quite a bit. My goal is to make today's tour the most valuable ever because I'm going to include lots of equipment hacks, machine modifications, and a mini review for each piece of equipment. I have been told that I have more of a gym home than a home gym, and when you think about this being a gym, that up there being a gym, and one of the rooms in the back being a gym, it really is true. And I'm going to get one thing straight right now. None of this is possible without the blessing of my wife. And you might find it interesting that during this tour, you will not see a power rack or any barbells. Stay tuned. Over the last 15 years, I've had 10 different home gyms. And since moving into this house 5 years ago and starting Home Gym Hacks and Reviews, I've had a lot of different equipment with a lot of different layouts. But this is my personal favorite due to all of the versatility I have and all of the open floor space. For example, if I tried doing a jumping Jean-Claude Van Damme spin kick in my last gym, I'd be taking another trip to the ER. I truly love bodybuilding and the home gym life, and I'm extremely grateful to have what I have now. This space started with nothing but the PowerTech power rack and a high-low pulley, and then it eventually evolved into what it is now. I'll start the tour with my most expensive machine, the Nautilus 2ST Super Pullover. I got this from Fitness Equipment Empire for $3,800 with shipping. It is the most expensive machine I have in this gym, but I was willing to pay a lot of money to have arguably the most iconic machine ever made. As of late, I'm finding I like a shorter range of motion for the lats, so I'm no longer going really far back for a big stretch or bringing the handbar down to my stomach. When I first started using this machine, I felt like the distance between the handbar and the elbow pads was too great, so I took a 1/2-inch horse stall mat and cut 6 5x5 pieces and placed them between this bracket and the elbow pad to serve as spacers. Now I have a lot more stability between my elbows and the handbar. This is the oldest piece of equipment I have with a production date of around 1972. It is the Nautilus Compound Position Bicep Curl Machine. Some people refer to this line as the Time Machine line, and these are the spider cams. This was in my dad's basement for over 30 years until I bugged him and he finally brought it to me. I've had a lot of people reach out and ask if they could buy this from me, but this antique is not for sale. Unfortunately, as of late, this machine is aggravating my golfer's elbow, but I hope eventually I'll be able to use this heavy again. This is another piece of equipment I got from Fitness Equipment Empire. It's the Cybex Eagle Abductor Adductor Machine. With shipping, I paid over $3,250 for this. I should have waited for something similar to pop up on Marketplace, but I wanted this machine in the garage for my wife after she got done with her hip surgery. I only use this machine for the adduction exercise. I don't do abduction because when I go heavy, it seems to aggravate my IT band, so that is a lot of money for one exercise, but the adduction exercise is Dante Trudell approved, so that's good enough for me. After having a garage gym that was full of commercial grade equipment, these 3 pieces are all I have left. I swapped them all out for smaller, more versatile pieces of equipment. And while it's awesome to have those big commercial grade pieces of equipment in here, they usually only do 1 or 2 exercises. And when one of those exercises gets stale or starts to hurt a joint, like this bicep machine, it just sits here for months and months without being used. The PowerTech lat machine supports that point perfectly because last year the Nautilus torso arm machine was here. And while it's a good machine, it only does one thing with one grip. So I swapped it out with this machine, which is far more versatile. This has a much smaller footprint than the Nautilus machine. I have the low pulley, and I have the option to use whatever attachment I want. Unlike other lat machines, this one gives you the choice to save money and go with the plate-loaded stock option, or you can get the 190-pound selectorized stack add-on. Both can be used in conjunction with one another for a 500-pound max weight capacity. Another feature that separates this lat machine from others is the seat can swivel out of the way to save space, but it also offers a vertical line of drive when doing exercises like tricep pushdowns and bicep curls. When you do those on other lat machines, you have to stand back and clear the seat. This is the PowerTech Hyper Crunch. Before all those fancy Nordic machines came around, this had been on the market for over 10 years. It can be used for a 45-degree back extension, a horizontal back extension, ab work, and glute ham raises. Over the years, I had the Titan back extension, the Rogue Abram GHD, the Iron Master Hypercore, and the Hammer Strength back extension, and this is the only one out of all of those I kept because of its versatility. This is my latest machine, the new PowerTech leg press. I always said the model before this was the best leg press for the money, and amazingly PowerTech made a lot of upgrades and kept the price exactly the same. This compact leg press has a 1,000-pound weight capacity. It looks awesome and it performs even better. Since starting this channel, I've shown and mentioned for a 45-degree leg press, I need the seat declined as far as possible due to my lower back issues. Luckily, this model and the previous model allows me to remove the adjustment tube and lay the seat back. Recently, I added daisy chains and seatbelt covers to create a harness similar to something you would see on a roller coaster. This keeps me from sliding back and relying on my hand strength. It does shorten the machine's range of motion, but it's still an awesome exercise. Here's the PowerTech Compact Leg Sled. For about 5 years, I've raved about how effective and lower back friendly this machine is, and this new model is even better. It's smooth and quiet with its 700-pound max weight capacity. Both the leg press and compact leg sled are great for calf work. I do like the leg press a little bit better because I can have my feet closer together and it doesn't take as much weight. When doing calf raises on the compact leg sled, you do have to have your feet a little wider apart because where the platform connects into the machine. I do like putting in the stopper when I'm doing calf raises in case something goes wrong that will catch the carriage. Same thing with the leg press when I'm doing calf raises on there. Those bottom safeties will catch the carriage if anything goes wrong. Next, I have the PowerTech Streamline Functional Trainer. This is the piece that I've had in this garage gym longer than any other, and I see plenty of new functional trainers making their way into the marketplace, but I can't part with this one because it fits me perfectly. Like the lat machine, this functional trainer can either be plate loaded or the selectorized 190-pound stack can be an add-on. I've mentioned before I had to modify this functional trainer first by cutting grooves into the pulley housing so that the pulleys could swivel 180 degrees. Also, because this functional trainer is 2 pulleys operating a single stack, I added cable extenders to allow for greater cable travel. About a year ago, I showed this hack which allows me to stay planted while I'm doing lat pull downs when I'm pulling more than I weigh. I don't do a lot of TRX work, but the weight of this functional trainer offers a great place to secure the TRX. Since getting into home gyms, I've always tried to have a Smith machine, and this is the PowerTech Roller Smith. It's extremely smooth and quiet. It has a 450-pound max weight capacity, and I have been using it a lot on chest, shoulder, and tricep training days. One of the biggest differences between this and the multi-press in the lever gym is being able to start from the top position. This machine's incredibly compact footprint and its bar are its biggest selling points. I also like how the Smith bar stores into the top crossbar. I added number stickers to mark the bar and safety settings. I also added Olympic sleeve adapters for the storage posts, and I removed the springs and large rubber stoppers so I could increase the depth the bar travels. This is my go-to bench for dumbbell work. It's another piece that was handed down to me from my dad. It's over 30 years old, and for being that old, I think it still looks really good. I believe this is the original upholstery. I did paint the frame with bed liner paint, and I was told that this may be a Pro Maxima, but I'm not for certain. The PowerTech FID bench is the only other bench I have. I think this is the most adjustable and the most versatile bench on the planet. The bench can slide into 9 different horizontal settings. The back pad has 7 different settings, and the seat has 4 different settings. All of these adjustments are extremely helpful when connecting this bench into the Smith machine, the lever gym, one of the racks, or when using the 6 different plate-loaded machines. With the way I've laid out the garage, I simply move the PowerTech FID bench back and forth between the Streamline Functional Trainer, the Smith machine, and the lever gym. Here are 4 of those plate-loaded machines stored in the attachment organizer. First, I removed the feet that come stock on the organizer and replaced it with wheels so I can transport this all over the gym. Secondly, I think it's really cool that I can store this inside of the Smith machine. And lastly, I think it's really cool that I have all of these plate-loaded machines that are quality exercises, but they cost a fraction of the price and take up a whole lot less space than standalone machines. The clothespin trick works great for getting the bigger, heavier attachments in and out of the bench's attachment tube. The pec fly is good, and after the modification I made by changing the arms configuration, it's even better. I'm using ab straps, which is working great to hit the chest while not aggravating my golfer's elbow. It has a 200-pound max weight capacity, which I can't imagine many people reaching. I really like the dip attachment, but it's the only attachment where I can pretty easily exceed its 200-pound max weight capacity, so I normally do one exercise prior to doing dips. I removed the rubber grips for a smaller diameter handle, and I completely removed the range of motion selector for a greater range of motion. Because I can dip more than I weigh, I strap a 45-pound plate around my waist with a dip belt to help keep me planted to the ground. And one of the things that's really cool about this attachment is if I face one way, I can hit more triceps, and if I face the other way, I can hit more chest. The preacher curl is the most versatile of all the attachments. In my original review, I showed all kinds of additional exercises, but I mainly use this for back-supported dumbbell curls, hammer dumbbell curls, and preacher curls using the Atlas bar. As you can see, I swapped out the bar that comes stock, and I can replace it with whatever attachment I want. This also has a 200-pound max weight capacity, which, like the pec fly, I can't imagine many people reaching. With the leg extension leg curl, I have 2 quality exercises I can fit in the palm of my hand. It has a 200-pound max weight capacity, and for leg extensions, that's not all that difficult, but I can't imagine many people doing a 200-pound leg curl. And my last attachment is the new leg press attachment. This hits my quads in a way my other leg machines don't. It has a 400-pound max weight capacity, and one of the things that I really like about this attachment, when I compare it to other horizontal leg presses, which I think this most closely mirrors, is that I can start from the top position as opposed to starting with my knees up against my chest. I added rubber stoppers, so if I fail with the safety pin out, the crossbar won't hit the adjustment knob. This increases the range of motion of the attachment slightly, but it makes a big difference. I have the leg press attachment connected to the multi-press permanently, and as I've said before, the multi-press could really be called the multi-pull press because it's great for rows and shrugs, and it is a better pressing station than the lever gym, specifically for flat press, largely because of the lever arm's lower attachment site. I had the Fettle chest press in here, and I like this machine better because of its adjustability and versatility. I can do decline to overhead presses and everything in between, and I can't believe this machine only runs for $8.99. And now for my beloved lever gym. I'm not sure what else I can say about this machine that I haven't already said. It really is a machine that can do it all. I don't think there is another piece of equipment on the market that would allow me to create a 7-part hack series. I also have my 5-part series, Why I Like the Lever Gym in Less Than a Minute. I compared this to the IM2000, and base model for base model, this came out ahead. And I also had a video saying why this would be the one piece of equipment I would have if I could only have one. It takes up very little space, especially when the bench isn't connected, and these have to be the easiest lever arms there are to adjust. Although I don't have the Rhino or the Squat Max MD anymore, my DIY belt squat has been working great, and the lever gym is the perfect place to set it up. I recently came up with a hack to store the lever arms out of the way quickly and easily. I removed this bolt that runs through the pulley and replaced it with a 7-inch bolt. Now I can store these back, and I don't have to worry about them falling down. They're safe and secure while I'm doing other exercises on the lever gym. Back here I have the Titan Strength Band storage rack. All of these bands came from Elite FTS. This amazing set of fixed dumbbells going from 10 to 105 pound increments was passed down to me from my dad. I have these on Marcy dumbbell stands, and surprisingly enough, these Marcy dumbbell stands are a whole lot better than what I expected. My oldest one is 6 or 7 years old, and in addition to these dumbbells, my dad also handed down a lot of plates to me. I have over 20 45s, which is pretty rare for a home gym. This is the Titan dumbbell stand. This piece has been with me almost since the beginning of this garage gym. It is a great place to start any dumbbell exercise. So much of this gym is about ease of use and convenience. For example, I have the lever gym about 2 feet away from a dumbbell rack so that I can easily walk behind the lever gym and load plates. At one point I had the PowerTech weight tree against the wall over there, but in order to get the leg press in here, I had to find a new space for this. And it turns out this is a great space saving option, and it really looks like an extension of the multi-press. It serves a couple of purposes. First, when it's time to load the multi-press, the plates are nice and close, but also I put UHMW tape here so that when I want to store the lever arms up and out of the way, I just lay them back against the plates on the weight tree. This is the Body Solid Compact Plate Tree. I love how it basically fits under the sleds platform, and it's extremely handy to have here because I can load a lot of 45s on that machine. Rather than wall control, I like having my attachments out of the way, so I secure them to the back of the Streamline Functional Trainer with magnetic hooks. I used to have a lot of attachments like the knockoff mag grips and some of the Prime stuff, but I found myself really only using the PowerTech lat pull down bar, the Gym Pin Light D handle, Angles 90 grips, my Grizzly ankle cuffs, some ropes, some revolving D handles, and my favorite attachment, the Atlas bar. This is a 22 foot by 22 foot garage with a 10 foot ceiling. My gym flooring is the 6 foot by 4 foot by 3/4 inch horse stall mats held together with 3-inch Gorilla Tape. I presently have all of my mirrors covered. If I knew I was going to do a review channel, I would have never put mirrors in this garage because they are such a pain. I am constantly dealing with light sources and reflections, but all of these mirrors came from Marketplace for next to nothing. I have a radiant barrier on the garage door, which I got from Amazon, which does help with temperature control. And this past winter, I had an additional breaker installed so that I could run 2 space heaters at one time. And right here, I have one of my favorite home gym upgrades, my water heater hider. It's basically 2 doors hinged together. Let's move into the PowerTech gym. Last year, I had the lever gym, the multi-press, the hyper crunch, a PowerTech weight tree, and some of the workbench attachments in this 11 foot by 12 foot spare bedroom with an 8 foot ceiling. Funny enough, I found myself wanting to train in here rather than out in the garage with all of that commercial equipment. That's when I knew it was time to sell all of that stuff and move my PowerTech equipment out into the garage. However, I couldn't fit these 2 pieces out in the garage, and this seemed like a very good place for them. But this could also be a very good setup for someone who's more interested in a calisthenics style fitness program. This is the PowerTech Basic Trainer VKR. It has a 400 pound max weight capacity and it's great for pull-ups, dips, push-ups, and my favorite from my commercial gym training days, vertical knee raises. I would like for there to be a hammer grip here, but that could easily be fixed with those Kensui grips or the Angles 90 grips. And the PowerTech Sissy Squat Pro is a great leg builder if you want to save some space and save some money. I could see these two pieces being really beneficial for someone who's in an apartment, a condo, or on the second story and they don't want to place a lot of weight on the floor. Eventually, I'll probably put more equipment in here, but for now, I have a second PowerTech weight tree, a Titan Fitness Tibia dorsal machine, and Titan Fitness single leg squat roller, and one of the limited edition Bosus. In the PowerTech gym closet, I have all of my bodybuilding books and my DVD collection, including all of Ronnie's, Jay's, and all of the Battle for the Olympias. Now it's time to move upstairs to gym number 3, the bonus room gym. I recently sold the Rogue Echo bike and swapped it out for the Concept 2 bike erg, finally enabling me to complete the Concept 2 trifecta of having the rower, the ski erg, and the bike erg. I've had the rower and the ski erg for about 4 years and they're both still in perfect condition. Granted, they don't get used a lot, but I'll be using them a lot more as I complete my 14-week challenge. I hope you've seen the video where I talk about fixing the resistance profile on the Titan Fitness seated leg extension leg curl machine. In that video, I used a 35-pound plate. Right now, I have a 25 on here because all of my 35s are down in the garage for my DIY belt squat. Since that video, I sanded all of the powder coat off of the weight horn because I got tired of it rubbing off and getting all over the place. I really think it looks a lot better like this, and Titan should do this to begin with. This is the ab core. Arnold Schwarzenegger has the deluxe version of this machine in his home gym. This is another piece I got from Fitness Equipment Empire. The ab core came with this little standard post, which obviously can't hold many plates, so I swapped it out for this Olympic post, which I got off of my PowerTech weight tree. I've been asked how much money I have invested in home gym equipment, and I honestly don't know, but I will say my wife and I have sacrificed a lot in other areas of our life to have the equipment that we do. If you have questions about any of the pieces that you saw today, I do have a standalone review for each one, and of course you can ask in the comment section. If you make a PowerTech purchase, please consider using my PowerTech affiliate link at no additional cost to you. That link can be found in my YouTube bio, and I really hope that this tour was helpful. If so, please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel if you have not done so. Take care, everyone.